What's going on, guys? Getting in the green. We got Monday Night Football, Giants and the Bucks. Probably won't be a good game, but hopefully for some fantasy, we can find some money here tonight. So let's get this thing kicked off here. And up at the top, as expected, we got Brady at 11,200. How you feeling here about Brady?
Yeah, it's an interesting slate in general. I mean, obviously, you got a lot of top heavy for the Bucks here, but with that being said, I think Brady's a must play here. I think Tampa's going to score a lot of points. I think they're going to dominate the Giants, and the one consistent is going to be Brady. You're kind of going to be guessing on the other facts. I think Tom throws 3 touchdowns minimum here, so I like him a lot. You're going to have a really tough time putting him at captain. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm going to have a couple with him at captain, but even the ones I'm not a captain, I am playing him, especially, the guys we're about to get to in a second, the Mike Evans, the Leonard Fournettes. I think Brady's a much safer play than those guys straight up.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, he's pretty much in all my lineups. I haven't can't afford him at captain, but I just like basically for me, it's put Brady at a flex, and then you're just trying to pick which weapon
You're
at
going
captain's going to get the most of his work. If it's Godwin, Evans, or Fournette, and then you can piece together from there. So that's basically what I've been doing. I got some Godwin captains with him, some Evans captains with him, and then some Fournette with him. But it gives you options. But I mean, for me, that's kind of how I'm playing it. But Brady is a staple in most of my lineups here, so I think they trounce. They're at home. They should do quick work here of the Giants.
Yeah.
Up next, let's start with some of these weapons. I mean, how you feeling about Mike Evans, 10,200?
I'm fading him more often than not. Obviously he's just priced the highest out of all the weapons there. He definitely is a guy that could go off. If you didn't play him, it could lose you the night immediately. It's very possible. But when you look at just the statistics, Mike Evans is about the highest end boomer bust guy you can have because he still has a level of consistency. But you really break down his numbers, he has some really big games where he catches the touchdowns, and he has some slow games where he catches 3 or 4 passes for 50 yards, and that's it. So there is some risk with him. I mean, I'm going to play a few of him, but I feel much more comfortable with Godwin and the consistency of his targets than I do with Evans personally.
Yeah, Evans, like you said, it's boomer bust, man. This guy could definitely have 3 touchdowns tonight. He could also have a game that gets saved last week by like a 40-yard touchdown late. But I mean, other than that, it was pretty underwhelming. I don't know if the Giants' corners are big enough for this guy. I think he does do what he wants tonight, but at 10,200, you can't just throw him in without concern here that he could definitely bust your lineup for the night. So, yeah, I'm pretty 50-50 on Evans.
Yeah, and
Um,
he kind of needs that 30-point game. And you look at his last two, the 14 or the 12, it's like
it's not going
it's
to get
not
you
going to
there.
get done for you if you're at 10,200.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Fournette, $10,000 for a team that throws when they're at the 1 yard line. It's hard to get there. I mean, obviously he's got the potential, but
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
steep, man.
I'm with you. It's a little more expensive than I thought. I do agree with you. I mean, me and Corey offline were just speaking, and he said this is a guy who, if the right game script could get you a 30-point game, especially if they dominate, you're not wrong there. But again, when you're playing the statistics, playing the odds here, the guy's had one huge 30-point games, and then he's been really nice and consistent in that, you know, 15 to 17 range for you. But again, at that price point, that just doesn't get it done. I'm not saying I'm not playing any of them, but again, at this top price, Godwin's my favorite
Yeah,
at the
and
top.
so we'll get to Daniel Jones first, and then we'll slide into some of these other guys. But Daniel Jones, 9,600. Look, if you think this game is even remotely competitive, the guy's a must play.
Yeah,
The problem is it could not be. Um, for me, I think I do like him a little bit just because of his legs. I think that guy could definitely take off running a couple times, score some points. He's not going to get benched, so garbage time might throw up some bombs. I don't trust him, but I think you got to play one or two with him there. I think it's a decent price, a pretty big discount off of like Brady or somebody like that.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm playing a couple of them, but man, it's just guy had so much promise to start the year. I think you and me both were really high on this guy as kind of a breakout candidate after the first few games. It's just been a tough sledding for him. 4 points, 8 points, 17, 17, 9. Really, really
Yeah.
tough couple of games there. Some turnovers. I'm going to play a couple of him. Um, yeah, I lean towards Tampa Bay lighting them up and beating them up. So I'm going to have not too many. There is a chance it's more competitive, especially Tampa's actually been slipping a little bit themselves, so it could be competitive. But I think for the most part, I'm leaning towards this being a beatdown, and I'm not going to play too much Jones.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, so now we got Godwin, and as you guys can tell, he's kind of our favorite Buccaneer play here tonight.
Yep.
The guy he's consistent. He's not boomer bust. He's going to get you those 6 catches across the middle. Hopefully, he gets in the end zone for you. But getting that discount down at 9,400, I like Godwin. I like him as a captain tonight. I think he's in a prime spot here to kind of chew up those Giants corners that slide into the slot with him.
Yep. I'm with you. It doesn't hurt that he's the cheapest out of the weapons, the top weapons. But I also actually like him the best out of the weapons. I think he's been the most consistent. I think he's shown that he has just as much boom as Mike Evans or any of those guys. So yeah, he's my guy here. Um, you know, you are guessing. You're throwing at the dartboard here. You don't know who's going to get it. I think statistically, Godwin is the safest pick here, and he just happens to also be the cheapest. So he will be on the majority of my lineups. And still hard to put in your captain, but much easier to sneak him in than even a Tom. There's like a $2,000 difference at least. So if you get one of the cheap guys, I like him in my captain when I can get him.
All right. Now, let's just dive into these next 4 guys together here. We've got Saquon, Galladay, Tony, and Evan Ingram. I mean, who are you leaning here for the Giants?
So you know what? There's risk here. I will admit there's risk, but I'm leaning Barkley, and I'm leaning Barkley as just the most talented person there. I definitely not on Ingram. I think that being back just takes a lot of that safety valve passing, where I think you drop it down instead of finding the big body tight end. Tony's very interesting to me because of obviously we've seen what that guy can do. He's an explosive player. Galladay is kind of whatever for me. I obviously the guy's a talented guy, but I just don't necessarily think he's got the boom of Tony. So out of everyone, I like Barkley the best. I think Barkley has just as much boom just from a talent standpoint, but I also think he has one of the safest floors because I believe even if this is a blowout, the guy is going to catch a shitload of just drop off passes to him. So I think I like Barkley the best in this scenario. How about you?
I like Barkley. I do think there's some risk here that they kind of limit him coming back from the injuries. But
Definitely.
if he's not limited, he's a smash spot. You're getting him at a big discount here at 7,800. Um, but if you think he's going to split with Booker, it's kind of tough. I
And
don't
a
think they
blowout
rushed him, huh?
and a blowout scares me as well.
They'll take him out.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
just take him out. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you on Barkley. I think Tony obviously has the boom. Evan Ingram, I think touchdown or bust, and at 6,600, that's like really tough spot to be in for him. And Galladay's just been so underwhelming. I know the targets aren't that bad; they look decent, but the guy's just not catching at a high rate. And it's not his fault. Half the time he's being overthrown. They're throwing him into tight coverage, but yeah, I mean that guy had so much promise coming into the Giants this year. So I'm fading Galladay tonight. I'll play a little bit of Tony. I'm really just having a hard time paying up for any of these Giants because I'm leaning more to their kicker and some of these other, garbage plays for them just because I just don't see them moving the ball that well.
Yep.
But all right, let's move in. We got one more before we can skip through these quarterbacks. We got Gronk, and how you feeling about the return of Gronk tonight?
I like Gronk, man. I mean, not so different than the risk here with Barkley. The guy was questionable up until today, just like Barkley. I don't remember how many games ago we saw him come back, leave very early when he re-aggravated his injury. But I do think he's in a promising position here. Practiced multiple times this week. Um, Came off the bye. I think he is in a good spot health wise, better than kind of what we were dealing with a few weeks ago. And I think the guy just has just as much boom as like a Mike Evans. To be completely honest, I know that sounds crazy, but guy catches touchdowns. He gets a lot of targets when he plays. He's one of Brady's favorite targets. So to get him at 6,200, um, there's that injury risk, but beyond that, I think he's a steal. To be completely honest, I think he is going to be a big outlet. I think Tom's been missing what the role that Gronk and Antonio Brown play for that very easy first down type of a guy and the red zone target. So I like Gronk a lot here. There's some risk, but I mean at 6,200, he's worth the risk for the upside.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely got the potential here. I am a little worried. It reminds me of like he returns week 8 after the break. He sees one target, no receptions, kind of leaves that one with some spasms in his back. He's another guy they're definitely saving for the playoffs. So if anything is even remotely tweaked on that guy, they will pull him for the rest of the game. So he runs some risk here. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
touchdown potential is through the roof for multiple touchdowns. So
yeah, and I'll even say, and I'm not diminishing the risk because there's risk, but from a lineup standpoint that I'm most happy with, Gronk and my captain are my best lineups. Obviously, I need that game flow to go well. I need the guy to not get injured during the game. But I think the upside that Gronk has in my captain spot, and then the way I can fill out the rest of my roster, has probably been my favorite lineups.
all right, let's slide past all these quarterbacks here. Bucks D.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very much in play here. Especially if you think it's going to be one of those blowouts. I do think the Giants are one of the most turnover prone teams in football. So I'm not loving it. They've had some games here recently that I thought they'd score more, but I see a path to them being in the optimal lineup. So I don't know. I mean, I'd say I probably am playing like 35% of my lineups with them, but there's just some of these games where I thought they'd do a lot better. Now, let me give you an example. The Miami game, I felt like they dominated that game and they scored 8 points, which isn't bad, but you really got to go to the Chicago game where they scored 21. So I'm playing them. I'm playing them in a couple, but I'm not majorly confident in them. So probably like 30% of my lineups have them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think there's going to be enough points scored tonight that it's going to be hard for them to find themselves to optimal, even if they score 10. I'm not sure that quite gets you there at 5,200. But
Yep.
they're in play. A turnover, a pick six, and all of a sudden, it's a different ball game. So, yeah, I don't mind the Bucks D. I'm not gonna play too much of them though. All right, we got Ty Johnson at 5,000, and you got Devontae Booker at 4,800.
Yeah. So Ty Johnson, was very interesting to me. Gronk didn't just kind of sneaky play, but a 5,000 with most of their weapons back, I'm not playing almost any of them really. I mean, maybe the guy could get a touchdown, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, no, I'm off of him, and even what's the guy's name? Darden down here seems to be stealing some of his routes as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I got no interest in Johnson, and then Booker's a sneaky play if you think Saquon is limited. I think at 4,800, if he's going to play a complementary role, is a decent
Yep.
spot for him at 4,800. But you're rolling the dice there on what you think. Unless some news comes out that Saquon's going to be on a snap count, it's kind of hard to go to Booker with any kind of confidence.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sneaky play though. Obviously an under,
Yeah, if he gets a
especially
touchdown or
if
something, then
blowout.
you're
Exactly.
then you're
Exactly.
playing. But all right, kickers. There's three of them here, but I'm pretty sure Suckup is healthy, so we can just skip over the other guy. 4,200 for Suckup, 4,000 for Gano. I don't mind either of them, honestly.
No.
Probably lean Suckup a little more. I think the offense is better. They should be in more positions. But I also think they might just end up scoring touchdowns too. So
That's where I'm at. I'm weirdly on Gano more. Not that I'm not willing to play either. I just have a feeling Tampa's going to score touchdowns tonight. They're coming off lackluster. I just have a feeling they're going to get it done. And I think the Giants are one of the worst teams I've seen at closing out drives.
yeah,
So even if they got 9 points or something, I could see those all being field goals. Yeah, I mean either one's a good play. Obviously, you're right. Tampa Bay significantly better offense. I just have that gut feeling that they're finishing drives tonight, and the Giants are not. So I kind of lean more Gano personally.
all right. All right, let's go through a couple of these guys here. I mean, let's just pick these tight ends out. How you feeling about Braid or Rudolph tonight?
I'm not really on either. Brait, I mean, Gronk's going to be back. He wasn't really doing much when Gronk was gone, so it's a total pass for me. Rudolph, same thing. I mean, very touchdown dependent guy. No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not playing either.
Yeah, I'm with you there. We've got Slayton and the Giants D. I think Slayton's always interesting for a big boom play. But with Galladay and Tony and Ingram healthy, I just don't see him having too big of a role there. But if you want to slide somebody into 3,200 that's got potential, I think Slayton's definitely, live. And the
Yeah, I played
Giants
a
D is
couple.
a definite no for me here
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, no Giants deep, but you're right. Slayton has obviously not had good performance lately, but we've seen what the guy's capable of. He's a sneaky play to win you the type of tournament, but also just as likely to get you a zero.
Yeah. And then here comes Gio Bernard. And this is kind of like my one spot that I'm willing to go down here. And it comes with risk, but $1,800. I mean, the guy will be in if there's, if they get a 2 minute drill. Um, they kind of sneakily work him in some red zone looks there. And, at 1,800, I mean, two catches, and this guy is explosive with the ball. I mean, of everybody, even, I mean, we can go up, outside of the kickers. I mean, this is the only guy down here that I actually, like tonight. So Gio Bernard's going to be my one cheap play.
Yeah, I like it as well. Obviously, I still think there's massive risk in him just because of game flow. A lot of times when he's been really effective, it's because they're passing, they're down, 2 minute drill type stuff. I think they're going to be up, but I don't disagree with you. He does get used in red zone sets, and we've seen him in the last couple of games. I think he's had 2 touchdowns in the last 4 or 5 games. So it's like it's possible, and if he gets you that 10 point game, he crushed it for you. So I'm with you. Down below, he's probably my favorite, even though I think there's risk because the game flow does not favor his style.
Yeah. Anybody else down at the bottom that you're looking at?
No, not really. I mean, even I know you mentioned John Ross offset here about the big touchdown, but I mean, in general, I don't even think I'd take a shot on that. There's just nothing there for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't, John Ross is exactly that. Does he catch the 50-yard touchdown? That's great when he does. Um, if not, you're kind of hurting there with the guy might get zero for you. So, yeah, look, guys, this is a very top heavy slate. You're going to have to slam in a couple of these mid range guys. You're going to have to pass on some big dogs. But hopefully, we gave you enough, a couple little spots there, maybe some kickers and a defense to get you there. But hopefully, let's win some money tonight.